Good afternoon, folks. It's Diamond from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News with a Thursday afternoon, March 19th, COVID-19 update. As the numbers increase slowly but surely worldwide, especially in the US, the death rate seems to be going up. And information coming out internationally, which would happen eventually, we're now 2 months into the pandemic. This is coming out yesterday. 99% of those who died from the virus in Italy had other illnesses. I'm sure many of you have seen this. We're going to leave you links to the article and the paper. But serious doubts about the accuracy of COVID-19 testing methods, results, mortality rates, and the supposedly unique and extremely lethality of this virus are starting to emerge. We've been questioning it from day one, even with mainstream media and government reporting. A recent study released by the Italy's National Health Authority found that nearly everyone who was pronounced dead from COVID-19 was already struggling with serious chronic disease. More than 99% of Italy's coronavirus fatalities were people who suffered from previous medical conditions, and over half had 3 conditions, according to the study. Now, the Rome-based institute has examined medical records of 18% of the country's coronavirus fatalities, finding that just 3 victims, or 0.8% of the total, had no previous pathology. Almost half the victims suffered from at least 3 prior illnesses, and about a fourth had either 1 or 2 previous conditions. More than 75% had high blood pressure, 35% had diabetes, and a third suffered from heart disease. The median age of the infected was 63, but most of those who die are older. The average age for those who died from the virus in Italy was 79.5 as of March 17th. 17 people under 50 had died from the disease, and all of Italy's victims under 40 had been males with serious existing medical conditions. While the data released Tuesday point to a slowdown in the increase of cases, a separate study shows Italy could be underestimating the real number of cases by testing only patients presenting symptoms. According to the GIMBE Foundation, 100,000 Italians had contracted the virus. That would bring back the country's death rate closer to 2. Now, this new report challenges much of the global reporting on the topic, which presents a unilateral narrative that's simply being exposed within 6 feet to someone who may have tested positive for the virus is life-threatening. But this yellow sliver for the general public is how life-threatening it is. The problem is it's very life-threatening for those that are old and sick, just like the flu, and we'll get to that. Elderly people already experiencing polypharmacy for multiple life-threatening diagnoses for chronic disease are already highly susceptible to opportunistic infections, including just pneumonia, due to their chronic conditions. Now, the adverse effects of pharmaceuticals and subsequently weakened immune systems adds insult to injury. And blaming a single virus for causing their death is not evidence-based, nor does it fulfill the basic postulates established in the 19th century German physician Robert Koch to ascertain whether a singular virus can cause a singular disease. There are a wide range of viruses that can cause the symptoms associated with COVID-19, which include several hundred different influenza viruses known to play a role in the seasonal flu. It is also known that the coronavirus family of viruses, which contains COVID-19, has actually 100 different strains, 7 of which cause the common cold. And some of these viruses exist naturally within the human virome and never express themselves pathogenically, but will potentially cause false positives through the many different COVID-19 testing methods being used. Now, what I'm sharing with you here is the paper which concluded that 99% of all the fatalities were people with pre-existing conditions, half of which had up to 3 prior illnesses. Those are the age ranges, where the majority falling right around 79.5 as far as fatality. And let's jump over to the U.S. numbers and talk about some facts. We're now at 11,274. We've jumped up from the number 8 position to the number 6 position worldwide. and we're rapidly approaching China's numbers. But what do those numbers mean? In 2 months of a global pandemic, less than 250,000 people have been confirmed and under 10,000 deaths worldwide. If we look at the US, wait for it, the number is going to change drastically. 11,000 confirmed and 157 deaths. And let's just take my state, where there's 200 people, 220 confirmed and 2 deaths, Colorado. And I just went to look at some flu data. The average deaths per year in Colorado is around 600 from the flu. And if we talk about alcohol use in the United States, 8,000 people a month in the United States, 8,000 people a month in the United States die from alcohol. And we're at 157 in 2 months. Be safe. Stay safe.